Drink beer, it's good for you. I'm empty-handed and I'm feeling blue, and I'm gonna drink till the day that I die.
Hello and welcome to the video. In this video I'll be giving you a complete guide to the Grainfather recipe creator. But first, a short description. The Grainfather recipe creator gives the user an easy way to build recipes from any web browser for use with a separate Grainfather Connect smart device app for Bluetooth brewing with the Grainfather. Should you have recipes stored in other applications, and these can be quickly imported for easy use from applications like Beersmith, for example. To access the Grainfather recipe creator, you need a free Grainfather account, and the creator package is available totally free, also with an unlimited cloud for you to store your recipes for safekeeping. Once you store a recipe in the Grainfather cloud, then it will automatically be synced with your Grainfather Connect smartphone app. To open the Grainfather recipe creator, you simply need to use this website address in any browser. This means you can access the creator on phones, tablets, laptops and desktop computers, plus any other device for that matter that has a web browser. So now we're on the website. Let's start with the search facility. Here you can type any recipe name in the search box. You can search by user also. Here you can see me and others sharing my recipes. Others here are sharing my recipes in different volume sizes. I have a separate video on this channel which shows how to do this, as shown on the screen now. Check it out. So say we're looking for a specific type of recipe, then the search function allows us to narrow things down. Let's search for a stout. You can see here that we have 1,450 results. Let's narrow these down now by using the search filters. Firstly, let's not mess around. Let's have a high alcohol stout. So we can move this slider here to make sure that we have between 10 to 15% alcohol. And let's have it so that it uses East Kent Golding hops, but someone in the USA has shared this. So here we can just go to hops, select East Kent Goldings, and then region here, and select the USA. So you now see that we've narrowed it down to 3 separate brews. Let's have a look at this one to start with. So here is the entire recipe with everything we need to know, and everything that the Grainfather Connect needs to know for brewing it too. If we go down to the green button here, we have some options. Here you can save it in different formats and also add it to your recipes. Let's look at the PDF side first. So let's click that PDF button, and you can have a look at what result you get here, which is very nice. This is very nice for safekeeping of the recipe and very handy for recipe ordering from your homebrew store, as you can simply email them this PDF. Let's go ahead now and save this recipe to our cloud. Again, we click the green button and then add to my recipes. This has now been saved. And we can now go into my recipes, and we can see that it's saved here, ready for us to brew whenever we wish. Say we feel the recipe is more or less what we're looking for, but we want to make some changes, then we can simply go back to our green button here and go to edit recipe. Say for example we decide that the yeast that's actually been selected here isn't really to our taste, then we can just get rid of that and add in our own yeast. And you'll see here that there's a huge variety of different yeasts that we can select from. Let's go for Liberty Bell. That's certainly a favourite of mine. Go back to the green button and go for Save Recipe, and the recipe will be saved with the new yeast. Here I will show you how to export a recipe from Beersmith for the Grainfather recipe creator. In Beersmith, bring up the folder view that you can see here and right click the recipe. Choose Export Selected Type and then type in the name and save it as an XML file type. It's essential that you save it as an XML file for compatibility with the Grainfather creator. Back into the Grainfather recipe creator, and you now want to click the import recipe on the top bar here. You can now choose your file. Here's mine. And once that's loaded, press the import button and you're done. Be aware that Beersmith does break some XML requirements and you may have to alter the grains EBC, but it's fast stuff anyway. Let's now look at how you can manually enter your own recipes. First, click the New Recipe tab that you see here at the top. Now we have a fresh canvas to work with. At the top here, you can actually enter the name for your beer and also a description. You can also switch between metric and imperial measurements. You can also choose your beer style, and there are all of the different BJCP categories in here. In this section here, you can adjust the batch size, the losses, the boil time, and also your efficiency. In this section here, we have the fermentables, and this gives you a pull down menu here that you can use to search from. So if I put in here pale, you can see here that there's an awful lot of different pale malts that we can select from. On top of that, if you wish to, you can actually select the customize fermentable option here and put in a grain that you've found that isn't on the list. There's an awful lot here though, I've got to say. The same goes here for hops also. You have this very useful pull down menu and you can pretty much type in anything that you want here. So if I put in here East, there it is, East Kent Goldings. I can select here between pellet or leaf or plugs, and I can actually specify when the usage is going to be, the timing. I can customize the alpha acid too, determined by the alpha acid of the hops that I'm actually using. This will then give you an IBU score. You have exactly the same functionality here for yeast, and you've also got extras here, and this will include things like boil additions, further things like chemicals that you can put in to adjust pH and different balances. And then on top of that, you've also got here the different mash steps that you may wish to add, and this is pretty much unlimited. You can call it what you want, you specify the temperature and the timing, and on you go. And also you've got another section here to take it even further, where you can actually pop in all of your different fermentation steps. And then you've got this handy notes box at the very bottom. Naturally, once you've added all of this in, this then can sync directly with your Connect controller, and it will flag up all of these different steps that you've added here, and you'll get alarm bells for the hop additions. You'll also be told about all the extras that you've put in, and of course you'll have automated step mashing at the same time. All very handy stuff. So here's an example recipe. This is my citrus orange wit, which you'll see on my channel. I've given it a suitable description, and here are all the malts and hops and yeast and everything else that you'd come to expect. But on this side of the screen you've got a lot more information. So it will tell us what our original gravity is predicted to be, in this case 1.044, our final gravity, and also the colour. You've also got here a bitterness figure, and you've also got bittering units versus gravity units, which is an extremely useful thing to have on any recipe creator. Here is a table to show you the sort of ratio you should expect the BU to GU to be for popular beer styles. For example, here you can see that an American IPA would typically have a BU to GU of 0.75. You can get tables like this all over the internet. Just type in BU to GU and you'll see what I mean. Very handy. Okay, getting back to our recipe again now. So we also have the alcohol figure, and also something very not useful at all, the amount of calories. I don't want to know that. I'm sure you don't either. Here we have a section here which is also very handy, which is all to do with the style information, and you can see different colours are within these sections here. Essentially green means that it's within style, red means definitely not, and there are colours in between also. I would have to say that these are within the BJCP style guidelines and should be used as simple guidelines rather than rules. The way I see it, the most exciting thing about the craft industry and craft brewing in general is experimentation. Okay, So you'll also notice here that we have a green button here, which has been useful in the past. So again, here we can delete the recipe, we can actually transfer this into a PDF, we can export it into XML format, we can copy the recipe, we can edit it, and we can also view the brew sessions we've had with it, and we can also use this button here, which is Brew Recipe. So if I just click that now, and then go Save Brew Session, I can then go into my account on the top right and go to My Brews, and then I can look at everything that I've been doing here. Let's now go into the one that I just created, and you'll see that it brings up an awful lot of information. These sections give us the facility for further note-taking for every aspect of the brew, going from grain to glass. Everything from mash pH to tasting notes. Very handy stuff, and it's a record that is stored on the cloud that you as such will never lose. And then lastly we have an FAQ that gives all sorts of questions and then answers also when you click on them. This is a useful thing to go through because it will give you a greater understanding of how everything works and how everything is affected. So there you have it. If you have any questions, then please do let me know. I do hope that you found this guide useful. If so, then let me know. If not, then please do let me know why. So if you did like this video, then please do like it on YouTube. This really helps me out and allows the videos to be seen by a wider audience on YouTube. I have always got a lot of new videos planned for the future, so if you are interested in seeing my new content, then please subscribe for future content. If you have any questions on anything that I have covered in this video or any other video, then please do not hesitate to get in touch with me via YouTube or Facebook. I'm a member of pretty much every Grainfather Facebook group and more. Happy brewing!